Weezer. Young Weezy. Lil Weeze. Carl Weezer. So, Scott, I'm a very big fan of the Wheeze. Sometimes I wheeze when I cough. That's how much I like the band. They've released some of the best music, but also some of the most disappointing music I've ever heard. And their last
Raditude?
album, that's a big one. They teased that the Black Album was going to be a darker album. It's going to go to that old Weezer, that we heard on the Blue Album, on the White Album. But as good as the White Album was, there's a contrast, a yin and yang, black and white. And the Black Album, while having some very good tracks, had some of the most forgettable Weezer tracks I've ever heard in my life. So that may discourage people, but they announced an album called Van Weezer, which is like typical Weezer with some 80s rock shredding, and that seemed exciting. They released their first single off of it, End of the Game, not to be confused with Endgame, almost a year ago, many months ago, and it was a very, very good song that harkened back a little bit to old Weezer and still brought that new Weezer for all the young hip teens in their tight jeans. And it seemed good. Yeah. And they announced the Hella Mega Tour with Fall Out Boy and Green Day, and it's going to be a stadium tour, and everyone's going to love it, and Weezer's back on track. But unfortunately, the situation with the COVID-19 quarantine. They delayed Van Weezer, unfortunately. There is no official date when it'll actually be back, when they'll get it on store shelves. It was supposed to come out this month, actually, so that's disappointing. There's a lot of uncertainty with the tour. They had to cancel a lot of dates or postpone them, and that may happen to my date in August. But they did release a song called Hero and a music video to coincide with it, and I want to talk about that a little bit. Hero is a very cliche song name. Block Party did it. In Shrek 2, the fairy godmother did it, and it was fire. Skillet even did it. Yeah, so how is Weezer's Hero compared to those other bands? Well, I can't say it beats the fairy godmother from Shrek 2. It's a really good song. The lyrics they talk a little bit about typical heroes, as in a superhero. They have superheroes like Spider-Man and Superman that may be something that you want to be, but a hero, in Weezer's eyes, is something more of the lines of you and me, and that's very relatable to this COVID-19 crisis. The music video has Rivers Cuomo writing some sort of letter and passing it down, and it's very interesting because it goes from shot to shot as the music's playing of people passing down this letter. Different people of all different sorts. Men, women, fat people, thin people, dogs even passed around the note. So it just brought a very relatable sense, lyrically and music video-wise. And the letter ended up saying something like, thank you, first responders, and people who work at Walmart or something. And it was very nice, very touching. But the song itself, how does it compare to other Weezer projects? I think it's a very good song. It's very fast-paced. The guitar is kind of as energetic as the vocals. It's a very catchy hook, especially the chorus. And it even has some shredding towards the end of the song to go with that Van Weezer, even Van Halen type music. So I think all around it's a great song with a great message. And it's unfortunate that we have to wait a while for Weezer, but we have this.
I just found something really funny that's off topic. I also wanted to say, when you mentioned dogs loving Weezer, I just think about the dog on Raditude.
They got the dog off the Raditude album.
I hope that dog's still alive.
Well, it came out in 2009, that album? And it's 2020?
That's 11 years ago.
Let's say the dog was born in 2009 and it was just a baby.
That was a pretty big dog for a baby.
It still probably has no chance. That's like 10 or 11 years ago.
I feel like if the dog did pass away, Weezer would make a statement about it publicly. Or are they too ashamed of Raditude?
They made the Black Album in memory.
Yeah, that's why it's so dismal.
The dog was the face of mediocre Weezer, so they decided to make another mediocre album for the dead dog. And we'll leave it at that. We'll end the podcast on death.